So we have David Wiseman, who is with the International Adhesions Society. He's going to address the group. I'd also like to bring your attention to the fact that he has submitted a written comment, which is in your books today. I think it's on the right-hand side of the folder. And we'd also like to remind you that the opinions expressed in the public comments are those of Dr. Wiseman and not necessarily the IPRCC.
Okay, thank you. Yes, thank you, Dr. Landis. Thank you, Dr. Porter. The International Adhesions Society provides advocacy, support, research for patients suffering from adhesions, abdominal tissue connections, commonly caused by surgery, endometriosis, or infection. Annual admissions for abdominal pelvic adhesions rival those for heart, hip, and appendix operations and cost over $5 billion. Adhesions patients often develop a constellation of pelvic, bladder, bowel, genital, and back symptoms, becoming largely indistinguishable from those with interstitial cystitis and IBS. We have termed this CAPS, complex abdominal pelvic and pain syndrome. Progress in understanding and treating CAPS has for 15 to 30 million Americans been frustratingly slow. This committee and its nascent pain strategy provides new hope. Some of your main challenges are highlighted by a discussion of recent FDA proposals on opioid labeling, which will allow us to illustrate our work and to offer suggestions for yours. Specifically responding to FDA's questions and with the help of 9 other groups listed here, we generated data involving over 2,800 patients with chronic pain related to pelvic, abdominal, and spinal adhesions, endometriosis, and interstitial cystitis. We found that the proposed changes would render opioid use off-label in 92% of our patients and could compromise access to or reimbursement for opioids in over 80% of these patients. With CAPS a predominantly female issue, we recommend that these type of data support efforts addressing disparity in gender access to analgesia. Combating abuse through questionably founded labeling changes, we believe, conflicts with FDA's mission and surely requires a coordinated effort using programs like Project Lazarus, which has proven effective without compromising legitimate opioid access. At least 5 agencies that we could identify tackle abuse in some way, but their websites provided no indication of coordination. You are positioned to propose our second recommendation that one lead agency be designated or created. I realize that one is a little hard. FDA has stated that it and other policymakers are striving to find a balance between minimizing opioid drug abuse and misuse while simultaneously enabling appropriate access to pain-relieving drugs. Belying the acceptance of the paradigms that opioids are the analgesic drugs of choice and drugs are the treatment of choice for pain, the statement demonstrates just how societally addicted we are to opioids. So we recommend thirdly that defeating abuse and misuse must be part of the overall pain strategy, aiming to wean us from opioids by funding, developing and facilitating access to drug and non-drug alternatives. Opioids cost over $56 billion a year just to treat the abuse and misuse. But it is not just our use of opioids that needs overhauling. For example, about 100,000 hysterectomies are performed annually for pelvic pain, costing $3 billion despite evidence of efficacy being insufficient to comment, according to an AHRQ-sponsored report. Further, our own and other research suggests that hysterectomy may accelerate cognitive decline or Alzheimer's, and in pain patients heralds the broadening of symptoms. Our fourth recommendation, therefore, is to critically review these and other cost centers in chronic pain and allocate funds to develop and deploy effective alternatives. Seeking alternatives, our study in mostly refractory CAPS patients of a novel wearable therapeutic ultrasound device found excellent reductions in painful bowel, bladder, genital and musculoskeletal symptoms. Some patients reported reducing or eliminating their use of opioids and other drugs. Impressed by these data, we decided not to wait for investment and committees and funding, but we just went and founded a company, KevMed, to market this device. Other promising technologies also face barriers to quick deployment and investment. So we recommend, fifthly, that a pain strategy must provide for expedited FDA approval for alternatives, streamlined reimbursement approval for alternatives, and reimbursement that allows modalities such as physical and psychotherapy to be used adequately for relief. So how are we going to pay for this? US opioid sales are estimated to be $9 billion, with societal costs, as I said, of opioid abuse and misuse over $56 billion, about double the entire appropriation for NIH, 140 times its budget for chronic pain research, and 30% less than the federal budget sequester this year. Surely, as we recommend, sixthly, the case can be made for expanded funding of programs that will bring the dream of a pain-free America closer to reality. So we wish the committee much success and offer our assistance in this endeavor, and thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.